Welcome back. I'm Pat, that Halloween movie collector, back with another top 10 album list from the 70s. It's been a couple of weeks. I've been busy. I haven't been able to pick up after I left off from 1974 with my good friend Colin Murray, who joined me on that episode. But I'm back solo on this episode for my top 10 albums of 1975. I've been wanting to do this one because you'll know why, judging from the shirt I'm wearing, and if you follow my channel, you know I'm a big Kiss fan, so you can only guess where it lands. And I won't mention the name because I'm sure you can figure it out, where actually both albums land on this list, because Kiss released two albums in 75. So let's get into this. Number 10, released on June 25th, 1975, Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention, One Size Fits All. If you've been following these lists, so far this would be my fifth one, and I think maybe all but one list Zappa didn't appear on. Big Zappa fan. Love Frank Zappa. More so on his own, but with the Mothers of Invention, I do like him with Mothers of Invention. But as a solo artist, I think I liked it a little bit better. There was a lot of improvisational. He did a lot solo improvisational too, just on his own. But I like it, but after a while, it just may just be a little bit too much. I just want songs and melodies and stuff. But I love the Mothers of Invention, and there's no argument here that One Size Fits All is great. You got Inca Rhodes on here, San Bernardino. Pajama People, Can't Afford No Shoes. This was probably one of the more well-liked albums by myself of the Mothers of Invention. But had to make this list. Love me some Frank Zappa. Miss him dearly. Number 9, released on March 7th, 1975, David Bowie's Young Americans. Yes, this is where he reinvented himself again. He was a genius, where he went from the Ziggy Stardust period to almost like the glam period, and here he is now, slicked back, looking very stylish, and just, I tell you, he was a genius. Just the way he could just constantly reinvent himself and come up with new and interesting ideas and interesting music. His music, now sometimes you listen to an artist and you know it's them instinctively. If you didn't hear his voice and you didn't know it was David Bowie, so much of his stuff is so different, and it was always so much fun to listen to what he was going to do next. And it's just such a shame that he's gone. Great songs on here, of course. You have Fame, Fascination, of course, Young Americans, Can You Hear Me? Great album. My number 8, released on September 15th, 1975, Foghat's Fool for the City. Now, Foghat, there's an incarnation that's still out there with no original members. I think maybe the drummer's original. I forget, because sadly lost Lonesome Dave Peverett years ago. But I love Foghat. Such great songs and iconic songs. I mean, you hear them on classic rock radio every day. You're going to hear Slow Ride. Once in a while, you'll hear A Fool for the City. Other great songs like Take It or Leave It. You don't hear too many obscure Foghat songs. But I Just Want to Make Love to You. You're always going to hear that, which is obviously a cover. But it's such a great band. I don't think they get their due, because they were big in the 70s, and they were all over the radio in the 70s. And that's a band that I don't think you've ever even heard mentioned in a breath for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I don't understand why. So many great hits, great straightforward, not even heavy metal, hard rock. That's why it's on every classic rock station every goddamn day. And Slow Ride is just so iconic. I mean, how can I not know that song? But yeah, great album. My number 7, released on August 4th, 1975, Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. Yes, the premiere of one of my favorite bands, Rainbow. Either you like them with different singers. I love them with Ronnie James Dio, and I love them equally with Jolene Turner, with Graham Bonnet. It's such amazing, amazing band. I mean, coming from Deep Purple, which is one of my other favorite bands, and coming up with Rainbow, it's just the genius of Ritchie Blackmore. I mean, truth be told, kind of don't get into the stuff he's doing now, albeit it's very cool, like the Dark Knight stuff that he's doing, the medieval music and stuff. Actually, he just played here recently. I considered going just to go see him, but I completely forgot about it. But songs like Snake Charmer, Man on the Silver Mountain, oh my God, the iconic riff alone of Man on the Silver Mountain, people just know that as soon as the song starts. Catch the Rainbow, Temple of the King. I mean, so many great songs on here, and it's and every time I listen to it, anytime I listen to Black Sabbath or any Dio, it just kills me that he's not with us anymore. It really, really does. Another one we lost way too early. My number 6, released on February 24th, 1975, First double album to appear on this list. Double album of original material. Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti. Which probably has a track listing that was probably the size of a regular album because the songs are so damn long. I mean, it's like they 3 songs on one side of an album. But this, I mean, come on, this is amazing, amazing that they were pumping out this amount of material. Probably one of my favorite songs by Zeppelin, the Wanton Song, Custard Pie, Trampled Underfoot, Houses of the Holy, The Rover. I mean, just the list goes on and on and on for this album. Amazing album. Amazing band. My number 5, released on February 28th, 1975, Alice Cooper's Welcome to My Nightmare. Yes, another staple of my list. That's pretty much made every list, I think, so far, except for one, because I don't think he released an album that year. But other than that, love Alice Cooper, and he's still kicking it. To this day, he's still so good live. And still putting out new music, and it sounds just as good. But, of course, everybody's got the nostalgia for the 70s Alice Cooper stuff, like I do. But Welcome to My Nightmare, I remember watching this video, the video with the freaky dancing people and shit like that when I first saw it on MTV. I mean, obviously it was done in the 70s, but I don't remember. Before the days of YouTube, you never saw shit like that. But I remember first time I saw it on MTV. Some folks on there, Escape. There's so many good songs. Only Women, which was, sort of his ballady hit. But such a great, great album, and iconic album, too. I mean, that's one of the ones he's known for. And you go see him live, and he still kicks it when he plays Welcome to My Nightmare. Great shit. My number 4, released on April 8th, 1975, my favorite album from this band. Aerosmith's Toys in the Attic. Yes, I love Toys in the Attic. Played the song Toys in the Attic in my cover band years ago, and it's so much fun to play. Like I said, easily. I mean, I love Rocks, but I just love Toys in the Attic. I mean, all the hits, Walk This Way, Same Old Song and Dance, No More, No More. Of course, this title, Toys in the Attic. Sweet Emotion, for fuck's sake. You hear it every goddamn day on the radio. A lot of these songs you hear on the radio every damn day. Just an amazing, amazing album. And now I reach for all the time, too. I do listen to... You could just grab a greatest hits of Aerosmith. But this is probably one I just reach for because I love every song on here. And I could just listen to it, and there's no skippers. Not one to skip on this album. Okay, we reached the top 3, and you're probably wondering where, because you haven't seen any of these guys appear yet, so you know where this is going to be going. So my number 3, released on March 19th, 1975, Kiss's Dressed to Kill. One of my favorite Kiss albums. Love Dressed to Kill. It's just stripped down, bar chords, rock and roll, and it's just got some great deep cuts on there. I mean, for everything from Two-Timer to Ladies in Waiting, Getaway, Room Service, Come On and Love Me is probably the biggest one that's off of there, aside from Rock and Roll All Night, but they never really play that version. It's always the version from Alive, which is coming up. But I still remember getting this album vividly. For those who live in northern New Jersey, I remember going to Corvettes. Not in 75, I got it later. I want to say 78 or 79 I got it. I remember going with my parents, going to Corvettes on Route 4 in Paramus, which changed incarnations so many different times to Caldor, and I don't even know what the hell it is now, maybe a Coles. But Corvettes back in the day had such a great LP, a great vinyl section, and I remember vividly going there and getting Dressed to Kill on vinyl. I think it was 78 or maybe even 79, I forget. And just wearing out that damn album. I still have it. It's still in my collection. So, yeah. Everybody's probably wondering where Kiss is going to start appearing on this list. Yeah, they're probably going to start appearing. Albeit, as we move along, there are the disco album and the pop albums, and we'll see where they go on this list. So it's going to be interesting. But, of course, the classic Kiss is going to be high up there on my list. So, number 3, Dressed to Kill. My number 2, breaking up and landing right in the middle of... All right, I'll be a spoiler alert. Right between 2 Kiss albums. Released on July 28th, 1975. Black Sabbath, Sabotage. Another one of my... every album that they put out, really, in the 70s. Now, Black Sabbath put out is amazing. I know you can argue Technical Ecstasy and Never Say Die, but I love them both. I do like how they're a little bit different than the earlier albums, and some great tunes on those albums. But Sabotage, amazing. Everything from Symptom of the Universe just kicks you right in the freaking teeth with that riff. You got the Rit, Am I Going Insane, Radio, Hole in the Sky. I mean, it just, every song on this goddamn disc is amazing. And that's why Sabbath is made. They've topped a couple of my lists already. So if you haven't watched my previous videos, one of my favorite top three bands, easy, is Black Sabbath. So that's why they land either at the top or very close to the top. And of course, my number one, if you hadn't figured it out yet, released on September 10th, 1975, Kiss Alive. Of course, this was the album that got me into Kiss. Of course, it was going to top the list. I've told the story before. If you haven't watched any of my videos or any of my Kiss videos, this was the album that got me into Kiss in 75. My brother came home with a copy of Alive he had borrowed from a friend at school. I vividly remember seeing it sitting on the dining room table, and I'm coming home, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Because you just look at the cover, and I didn't know who Kiss was. You know, they weren't on the radio at the time, and you had to know who they were because no social media or nothing. I didn't hear. I'm like, who are these guys dressed in makeup? They look fucking cool as hell. Who is this? Of course, my older brother, 6 years older than me. Don't touch my shit. And of course, it wasn't even his anyway. Waited until he went out, ran upstairs, put it on his radio, his stereo, because I didn't have a stereo yet. Put it on the turntable, and I'm like, wow, this is fucking good. And that's when it started. Here we are, what, almost 50 years later. Yeah, almost 50 years. So next year, Alive will be 50 years old. So 49 years later, I'm still a Kiss fan. And 49 years older, which really sucks. But everything on here, I mean, of course, like I mentioned, from Dress to Kill, you got the iconic live version of Rock and Roll All Night that you hear. That's all you ever hear on classic radio because that's the only fucking song they ever play. Not Kiss has a shit ton of songs that are popular, but all they ever play is that live version of Rock and Roll All Night. And every once in a while, they'll sneak in a Detroit Rock City. But other than that, that's all you ever fucking hear. So, and I love the song, and I love my band, and I love the Alive album, but if I never heard that version again, I wouldn't lose any sleep. Play something else. There's so much great shit on this album. From 100,000 Years live version, Strutter, Black Diamond, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, of course, one of my favorite songs, Parasite, Come On and Love Me. I mean, there's so many good live songs on here that they play on the radio. And they don't. I mean, satellite radio, yeah, but like mainstream radio, which I rarely have ever listened to, so I could really give a shit. Nobody ever listens to regular radio anymore anyway, because they've basically shot themselves in the foot and bored us to tears with the same shit over and over again. So everybody goes to Spotify or Sirius Radio because, sorry guys, you suck. But that's my rant over. That's not what this is about. This is about 1975, and of course, the top of the mountain for me, as I'm sure you people who know me and know how much my love for Kiss Alive, right at the top. So this is good because this is two lists in a row because Kiss appeared on my last 74 list because their debut album was in 74. So as we move forward, we got to remember Kiss tended to put out 2 LPs a year. Yeah, so this is going to be interesting going forward. And it's nice. I broke it right up in the middle. I could have been predictable and made 1 and 2 Kiss, but with Sabotage, believe me, Sabotage almost beat Alive out. The only reason it didn't beat Alive out on this list for me is the nostalgia of Alive, because it was my introduction to Kiss. But yeah, so Kiss and Black Sabbath are going to pretty much be neck and neck the rest of these lists. So just forewarning you now. But thanks for sitting through this and watching me rant and rave over 10 albums I love from 1975. Be sure to go back and check out my other lists from 70, 71, 72, and 74. Like I said, with my special guest on 74, my friend Colin. And I hope you enjoy them. Do me a favor, you like this? Hit that like button. It helps people find this channel, get some more people that just like lists like this and a good conversation. Let me know in the comments below. Throw your top 10 in there. I'd like to see where everybody's lands, because everybody's got so many different tastes and variety of music they listen to. I love reading the comments, especially when people put their lists in there. So yeah, throw your top 10 in there. I'd love to hear them. And while you're here, hit that subscribe button. Closing in on trying to get closer and closer to 1,400 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button. Don't cost nothing. We also have channel membership here. So if you watch a lot of these videos, you want to support the channel, give back to the channel because we want to give back and do some giveaways. Hit that join button. There's 3 tiers, and it's very affordable, and you get some perks. We're going to do some exclusive content for members and do a lot of stuff. Probably do some music stuff too, because a lot of our members and supporters love music, just like I do. So it won't all just be horror. It'll be an eclectic mix of stuff. So hit that subscribe button and make sure you come back in a week or two, or maybe sooner, depending on time. And I'll do my top 10 albums of 1976. So until then, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And I'll talk to you soon.